20 years ago, Ivoclar introduced IPS Emacs, and we all know how that has turned out. Hi, Voices of the Benchers, Barb Warner here, and I would like to personally invite you to Ivoclar's IPS Emacs panel discussion, which is on Friday, February 22nd, starting at 3 o'clock at the LMT Lab Day in Chicago. I will be joined on stage with Jessica Burrell, Stephanie Goddard, Mike Roberts, Jed Archibald, and Dr. Ken Malamant as we dive into the world of Emacs. After the panel discussion, Ivoclar will be hosting a happy hour to commemorate this 20-year milestone. So amazing. So please join us by registering at labday.com/Ivoclar, and I cannot wait to see everybody in Chicago.
Welcome to Voices from the Bench, a dental laboratory podcast. Send us an email at info@voicesfromthebench.com and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Greetings and welcome to episode 360 of Voices from the Bench. My name is Elvis.
My name's Barbara, and we have a 6. I'm so excited. We have a 6 for 9 episodes.
Yeah, we do. It's going to be 360 whatever for at least a while.
Well, good for me.
Barb, how you holding up? How you doing?
Better than I should be, but not the greatest. I don't know if the whole podcast world, I know the whole dental world knows that my dad passed away last Sunday, so
yeah,
super sad. Passed away with dementia. Dementia is a very sad, slow, horrible disease. But I was there pretty much every week, every day, and spent as much time with him as I could. So he's at peace. I was with him when he passed because the good Lord told me I needed to get there right then and there. And I talked him into heaven and cried over it and had the cross on his chest. But good man, great for our industry. So many people affected by him with his company for so many years. I've just heard from Ivoclar folks and Argon folks and just everybody that knew me and knew him. And so I'm just super grateful. No regrets. He's at peace.
Yeah.
And thank you for letting me mention it.
Absolutely. It's hard, but I don't think a lot of people realize, maybe listening to this podcast, how big your dad was in the industry.
Yeah.
Back in the heyday.
Yeah.
Didn't he participate in those times before the NADL and all of that? And and really get involved and
FDLA, Cal Lab, NADL.
Cal Lab back in the day.
Yep.
I'll say I believe I met your father even before we did this podcast.
I bet you did.
Just out and about and around, and very kind man. I think the only regret is we never got him on the podcast. But
yeah, he probably wouldn't have known what to do with himself.
But I know he touched a lot of people. I know a lot of people have said some really nice things about your dad and how he helped them in the industry early on. And I'm sorry for your loss, and I'm sorry for your family. And
thank you. I know what you're going to say next, but his funeral's on Thursday, and there's another event on Friday, so you can say this if you'd like.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's obvious at this point, but unfortunately, Barb, you're not going to be able to attend this year's Chicago festivities.
No.
That's got to be tough. I understand. I get it. But time spent with your friends and the family, it's important.
Yes, I know. I feel like I'm letting you down, the podcast down,
No.
Ivoclar down, Cal Lab down. It is where I need to be, and I know you're going to be amazing. It's going to be hard not doubling up because I know that it's 2.5 full days of recordings, and so I feel like I put a lot on you, but do me proud.
I will say this. You will be missed. I understand. Everybody understands. Don't feel bad. But I'm not going to lie, it's going to be hard, and the energy is going to be different. And you know me, I'm probably going to start talking to someone and do a 3-hour conversation because you're not like, let's wrap this up, Elvis. There's a line. I'll probably talk to one person all day Saturday.
That's funny. You are right. Just think of me when that happens and give your little snap of a rubber band and say, snap out of it, Elvis.
I'm going to have a post-it note that says, what would Barb do? That's going to be wrap it up. And find the next person.
Yep. So. Bingo. And good luck and God bless to everybody. I hope Chicago's amazing. Thank you, Ivoclar. Thank you, everybody that's supportive of us and of me personally that's reached out to me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you will be there in spirit for sure.
Yeah.
But you know what? This also gives everyone a little bit more of a reason to go to IDS this year in Cologne, Germany.
True that.
Because if you need your helping of a live Barb, we're gonna be there. Barb will be there.
Yep.
She better be there. I can't record in a foreign country without you.
I made my reservations. exocad helped me. They were amazing.
Nice.
So they are done.
Yeah. Awesome. So March 25th to the 28th. In the exocad booth. So they were nice enough to give us a very small space in their very big booth during this massive show.
Damn.
I think I saw that like Lab Day was like 300 vendors. And then I looked at IDS, it's like 3,000 vendors. And I was like, So we are excited once again to team up with exocad and hang out in the coolest booth with one of the coolest design software companies.
No doubt.
So I have the deets. If this means anything to anyone, we will be in Hall 1, booth A040/C041.
Dang.
Does that mean anything to anyone? I have no idea.
Wow.
Looks like it's near the west entrance. So if you see Barb and I wandering around, can you please direct us to booth A040C041? Because I have no idea where that is. So.
All right.
But stay tuned. We're going to have some exciting news coming up of what's happening at IDS with exocad and us.
Awesome.
So this week we talked to a company new into the dental lab space that has a new take on AI-generated crown designs. So a while ago, Ryan Axelson reached out to us and said he's working with a company called Dentscape and thinks our listeners would enjoy hearing about it.
Yep.
Love it or hate it, AI is definitely going to stay in the dental industry. But the really good thing about AI is that it's only going to keep getting better and better the more we use it.
More information.
Yep. So Ryan brings with him the two co-founders of Dentscape, Bill Chou and Dr. Sylvie Liu. Bill comes from the Meta and Amazon technical background, and Dr. Liu comes with the dental knowledge and desire to see AI improve dentistry. Now, Ryan comes from a 3D printing background, and he's going to bring all of this to the market. They talk about creating Dentscape, some interesting insights into how and why AI works, what sets theirs apart from the others, and what's next for this ever-growing aspect of design. So join us as we chat with Ryan Axelson, Bill Chou, Dr. Sylvie Liu, and I guarantee you that none of this episode was AI generated.
Are you a dental lab in need of more talent to improve your bottom line and keep production on schedule? Are you a dental tech with great skills but feel you're being limited at your current lab? Well, the answer is here. Hi, I'm Mark from Win-Win Go, and this is precisely why Win-Win Go was created. The dental lab and dental tech community needed a place where labs and technicians can meet, talk about their needs, and connect in ways that foster a win-win outcome. As a tech, if you're ready to make a change, thinking about moving in the next year, or just curious what's out there, sign up today. It's totally free. As a lab, you might be feeling the frustration of paying the big employment sites so much and getting so few tech candidates. We understand. They don't much care about our industry. WinWinGo.com is simply the best place for lab techs and lab owners to actively engage in creating their ideal future. WinWinGo.com, how dental techs find paradise.
This February, there are a lot of vendors to visit at Lab Day Chicago, and one you don't want to miss is Adite at booth E26. They will be showcasing their exciting new products and cutting-edge solutions in digital dentistry. Attendees can explore hands-on demonstrations of biomix, stain, and glaze techniques, something many guests have mentioned on here before, along with some of their other innovative technologies. Adite will also host engaging lectures and Grand Suite 2 that's in the East Tower, covering topics such as EZ Near, 3D Pro Zur, digital dentures, and their Adite cloud design service. And even before you go, you can stay updated by following @Adite North America on all social media platforms. And don't miss this opportunity to see how Adite is shaping the future of dental labs. Tell them you heard them on Voices from the Bench, and we appreciate your support of the podcast, Adite. Voices from the Bench. The interview.
Sylvie,
Lou?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, look at me get
Right.
2 of them right. 2 out of 3.
Well
I'll
done.
take it.
You got it.
Everybody ready to get rocking
Sure.
and rolling?
Sure. By the way, it's Sylvie. By the way, Sylvie Leo.
Sylvie. Did I get that wrong? Well, okay. 1 out of 3 ain't bad.
So Bill and Sylvie and Ryan.
Sylvie. We are super excited today because we got an interesting group on here to talk about AI in our dental space. Now, Ryan, you reached out to me not too long ago and said, hey, we got this interesting concept. I have no idea what it is, which makes it more interesting to us because I want to learn all about it. So let's introduce everyone from Dentscape AI. We have Ryan Axelson.
You got it. That's right.
Hey,
Good
what's up,
morning.
Ryan? How are you?
Hey, what's up? Good
Hi.
morning. Good morning. Hey, well, thanks for having me on the show today. It's great to be here. I've been listening to your podcast for a while. I actually got introduced when I was working at Accurata.
Wow.
Yeah, so I come from the 3D printing space, and I was really excited about after I joined Dentscape. I was starting to think about, hey, how can I introduce the team to Elvis and Barb? And I thought about you guys, and I thought, hey, maybe there's a chance for us to introduce ourselves and be here on the podcast. I think it's a great story.
Well, beautiful. Totally welcome, you guys.
Love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, 3D printing, huh? We're going to dive
yeah.
into that, where you come from. So,
Yeah.
also joining is Bill Chou and Sylvie Lou. How
Hi,
are
guys.
you both?
Hello. Hi, I'm Bill. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Dentscape.
Good to meet you. Welcome.
Yeah, good to meet you. I'm Sylvie, the CPO and co-founder of Dentscape. So, Bill, you want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, absolutely. So, a little bit about Dentscape. Dentscape is an AI agent for dental labs that adapts to your preferences and generate 100 crowns in just 10 minutes. So, we help dental technicians elevate their efficiency with AI by simplifying workflows and reducing workloads.
So, how did you even get into this business? Were you a dental technician, Bill?
Actually, Sylvie is a dentist. So Sylvie wanted to tell us a little bit.
a
about-
dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm also I'm the practicing dentist and also a lecturer in digital dentistry. So my role in the team is to bridge the gap between the AI technologies and also the clinical dentistry and also product designs. So I will make sure that everything we build at Dentscape is both very innovative but also user centric.
That's a big role.
Yeah,
Yeah.
why did you become a dentist? What's your background? How long have you been a dentist?
Yeah, actually, I've been a dentist for 9 years now.
Okay.
I want to talk about the story how I become an entrepreneur from a dentist. So
Sure.
I actually have a great time in dental school, and I really like the artistry of the dentistry. I love tooth morphologies. I like to do the layering of the composite resins, and in my students' phase, I actually won a championship in the clinical case competitions about like the interior cases. But what really
Nice.
unexpected happened after I worked in a dental clinic for 3 months is that I start to feel bored. Like dentistry is all about like the stabilities and caring
Yeah.
about your patients and also the quality of the treatments. And I found there's no way for me to express my creativities. I like to draw. I like to do something new when I was a kid. So that made me thinking about is this what I want to do for the next 30 years? So these questions just really make me stop and reflect, and I start to find something new, and that really can excite me. So I'm searching for that feelings for years, and after later on in 2019, I met Bill. So at that time, Bill was working in AWS. So AWS is selling the cloud services, and we talk about AI and how AI can work in the cloud. So what he shared about and what he shared to me really inspired me, and I thought, why not we bring AI into dentistry? And what if we can use AI to elevate our working efficiency? That will be super amazing. So that is how we start Dentscape, and that is the story about how I turned into the entrepreneurs.
So when you were thinking about that though, like what were you thinking when you say dentistry? To the dentist's office, to the clinicians?
Yeah, actually, in the beginnings, we do think about clinicians. Like, we actually start from a DSD app before.
This is our second part. We started a company like 3 years ago with AI assisted smile design app called Preteeth AI Pro. So back then, we actually do a lot of door to door, like visiting to dental clinics to do the
Right.
DSD promotion.
Mhm.
But later on, like Dr. Abazi, a really highly respected cosmetic dentist, shared some insight with us, saying that actually what patient and dentists see on digital smile design shouldn't just stay in 2D. It needs to be translated into 3D so that the consultation and final result can truly align. And that insight sparked something for us. So we started digging deeper, having more conversation with dental professionals, and that's when we uncovered a much bigger and more urgent problem, which is staff shortages in dental labs.
Oh yeah.
So we decided to, we decided to address this problem with our AI assisted crown design. And fortunately, our experience with DSD gave us a solid foundation to build on, especially for multi-unit anterior crown generation. So I think now we work on the more like a lab side because it's where staff shortages happening, right? And so we're trying to solve the problem in the lab world right now.
Yeah, really focus on technician right now. And from a dentist perspective, I also see some like frustration from both sides. Is that patients often don't understand why it takes 1 or 2 weeks to get a crown. And I know that dental technicians are already doing their best, but it's just overwhelmed by the workload. So it's not about lacking any kind of skills or efforts. It's simply a mismatch between the volume of the work and also the number of the technicians.
Interesting.
We only do 2 weeks because we can.
Yeah.
How do you even start developing AI for teeth? I mean, you're not the only people in our industry in the space that do it.
Right.
It has to start somewhere. It has to start from designs that actual people have done.
Uh-huh.
How does it work? How do you build this?
Right. So actually, we have 4 co-founders in total. So our team is like you can say when techs meet dentistry. I came from AWS, Amazon Web Services,
Oh,
and
nice.
I work.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about
stuff.
about like cloud-based technologies and AI. I sell a lot of AI services to different industry back then, and my tech co-founders, the other 2 co-founders, they are AI researchers from Meta, Facebook. So together, we saw an opportunity that we can transform the dental lab industry by tackling this kind of problem. So I think there are 3 key pillars to answer your question, like how do we build this, right? So there are 3 very important pillars. First is about the data, right? So we partner with a large dental lab for high quality data sets, ensuring like we have the real world accuracy. So we train our model ourselves. We are not using someone else model. And the second is algorithm, like what I shared. We have a perfect team to execute this idea. So like tech bro from Amazon and Facebook with a dentist. So we try to we build our algorithm all on our own, and so far so good. And the third pillar is about computing power. So we are backed by NVIDIA, which gave us access to their computing resources. So all three together, we have Dentscape Online.
You said you had a large laboratory that helped you. So they use the software and just give you guys constant feedback on the good or the bad?
That's one thing. And the other thing is we have a lot of paired data set, which means they have original skin file and the design, like crown design files, STL. So our model knows how to turn like a raw data into design data. So that's where our model can keep improving and trying to close the gap. And eventually the model know, okay, I need to take care of this, take care of that. We actually have a special algorithm to make the data work. It's called mixture of experts. We have just like lots of experts taking a look at the model itself. We need to have the alignment align. We need to have the occlusal correct, something like that. So we have tons of special algorithm to handle that. Yeah.
Wow.
Usually when you hear of AI, I mean, let's be honest, ChatGPT is popular right now.
Yeah.
Making images that are just kind of crazy looking. How does that relate to something that's functional for a mouth? Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, what exactly does an algorithm do to make a good-looking crown? Is it all just math equations?
Yeah, so talking more about the tech behind how we can generate a crown from a intraoral scan. So there's actually two kinds of main AI technology we're using right now. So the one is the supervised learning, and the second one is generative AI. I know there are some, it's like a jargon words.
Oh, yeah.
Jargon words, yeah. But I'm going to explain it in a very simple way so that you can remind.
Like I'm a third grader, please.
Okay,
that's the best way.
So, yeah. So for the supervised learning, so it will actually like a expert that can make judgments on those like internal scan. So for example, like this kind of AI, if I give like tons of photos about cats to this kind of AI and tell the AI to learn that this images is a cat, so it will like extract some like features like the shapes of the cats and also the whiskers. So it will know that, oh, this is a cat. So after the training, it can like confidently identify the cat in a new photo. So this kind is a supervised learning. So we use supervised learning to tell AI to recognize the tooth on the intraoral scan, and also like so they can separate the teeth from the gums and detect the margin lines on the abutment tooth, and also identify the cusp and the groove on the tooth. So it's like back in the school we're learning the tooth morphologies. So this kind of AI, the supervised learning, is actually an AI models that can understand the intraoral scan. So this is step one. And step two is that we use a generative AI. So just like ChatGPT, which is very popular recently. So this kind of generative AI is actually more like a creator. So it can like generate pictures or generate contents according to your prompts, according to your instructions. So our AI will use those like inputs from the user's settings. For example, we will tell the AI or prompt the AI that we want the cement gap to be 0.08 millimeter, for examples. And they will also use the insight from the supervised learning to know that, here is the abutment margins. And according to those instructions, this generative AI will design the crowns. And then that can fit to the patient's like occlusions, the customized aesthetics. So what we really do in Dentscape is that we combine these two kinds of AI together so that we can have the accuracy from the supervised learning, but we can also have the creativities and the customization from the generative AI, so that the workflow will be streamlined.
Which I can totally see.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, you were talking about how much you love the artistry and the creativity of dentistry. I could see where you would really be fascinated with this.
Yeah, we have to have more imaginations about the futures.
Wow.
Ryan, where do you fit into all this?
Yeah, I've just been quiet, just listening to the conversation. I think it was fascinating when I first met Bill and Sylvie. I was at a SmileCon back in 2022. I think that was October 2022.
SmileCon, yeah.
I was with Accuretta at the time. The CEO, Ayush, and I were traveling, and I ended up meeting Bill and Sylvie and learning about their first product, Pre-Teeth, and I thought that was cool. They were doing the virtual smile or digital smile design. I thought that was, kind of a cool concept, but not didn't have any input for that. And then after, I have a kind of a long story. I broke my leg when I was living in Taiwan. So I was living in Taiwan for 3 years.
For Accuretta?
For Accuretta, yeah. And so that's where Accuretta is based, right? That's where their headquarters is. And I was living there, working for Accuretta for a little while, and I broke my leg cycling up in the hills above Taipei.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, it was a slippery. It was basically a rainy day. My bike slipped out from underneath me. I came down on my hip and basically broke the top of my femur.
Oh my God!
And being a startup, you really can't, there's not much you can do while you're in bed. And so I decided to kind of step back and let them do their thing. So I had to step away from that company. So that was kind of my exit out of Accuretta.
Mm-hmm.
That whole time, it was just under a year, that whole time I'd really learned dentistry and got excited about what dentistry was and 3D printing. That was super exciting at the time. 2022, there was still a lot of things going on with dentistry and 3D printing, and there's still a lot more left with 3D printing. So I was really excited about the industry and the technologies being introduced, but I had to take a 6-month walk away from that industry.
You weren't walking.
And then
you weren't walking at all.
Yeah. Rolling away from the industry. I was in a wheelchair for 3 months.
Wow.
It was weird. The whole process is actually a 4 month of no weight on your leg.
Wow.
So I had 4 months of crutches and wheelchairs.
I don't think I could do that.
Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. And I had a pin in my leg, by the way. It was like this 4-inch pin in my hip.
That was God's way of telling you to learn something new.
Yeah. Right?
Yep.
So, yeah, it was tough. And then my kids wanted to go back to the States. They had already spent 3 years in Taiwan. They're like, hey, you know what, Dad? I don't want to go to high school here in Taiwan. So we ended up, my wife and I, we moved the kids back to America and started our life back up in California, Northern California, where we are from. And I kept in contact with all my friends and partners back in Taiwan. And one day I reached out to Sylvie and just said, hey, how are things going? How's Pre-Teeth? And she responded, you know what? We're looking for an advisor. We're creating a new product. Would you be available to help us? I said, you know what? Let's do it. So, I had the whole background of working in dentistry, a little bit of labs. I think Accuretta had about 30% of our clients were focused on labs. So I kind of had a little bit skin deep knowledge of labs. And as we started talking, it just propelled itself. It became a really interesting story. And I learned a lot about what they were doing with Dentscape. They were pivoting from Pre-Teeth over to Dentscape and creating a new product to create a crown from scratch. I thought that was just absolutely like bonkers. Like, how does that even happen, right? I knew that you could talk and chat with an AI agent with ChatGPT, but to be able to create a crown from scratch, that's bonkers.
Right.
So I thought that was just fascinating, and I wanted to learn more, and I was sold. Like, as soon as we started talking, I was sold. I was like, this is amazing. We have to bring this to market. I will help you, whatever you need. My life is yours. So it started. And in July, I basically turned full time, and we started working on our go-to-market strategy.
Well, you've mentioned Pre-Teeth a few times. What was that?
Yeah, that was their first product. That's their DSD product. That's the name of the DSD, the digital smile design.
So that's where it all started. Being able to design a smile. Is that AI?
Yeah, so pre-teeth visit like app for like dentists. They can take a picture of their patient and generate smile design in just seconds. So we do smile analysis. We analyze a lot of things from the smile view photo, and then we generate like a smile design with like veneers or like tooth whitening
and
yeah,
lengthening.
crown lengthening.
Just better for the dentist to do the consultations in the same
Yeah,
appointments.
I can see that.
So that's actually that's actually Sylvie's pain point back then, doing a lot of practice.
Is that still being used?
Yeah, so we have more than 8,000 users around the world right now. So it's still available. You can just search it on App Store.
Yeah. So you just take a picture of a smiling patient, and what does it do? It just superimposes what good-looking teeth would look like?
So it will actually, just like Bill said, it will actually do the smile analysis first. So it will like recognize the patient's eyes, and then the lip borders, and also the jaw, and where all the teeth is. So it's not like a photo editing tools. So it's actually generated DSD according to this patient's conditions, like where the teeth is, how long should the be. For example, like the incisor edge should be aligned with the lower lip border to create a better smile curve, etc.
So by using that, so if the patient says, yeah, I love that, then the dentist can take a picture of that and send it to the lab, and the lab can do a wax up off of that.
Exactly. And so it used to be like a technician have to look at the photo and try to build based on that. But the problem was some users told us they want to use AI to convert those 2D like simulation and like trim plane into 3D. And so we are building 3D part right now, and eventually we will bridge them together, right? So we have 2D already. Now we are building on 3D. Eventually, it will be like all streamlined. So from end to end, it's more like the whole workflow. We can help with the dental professional to provide a better experience for a patient.
Yeah, we know that creating the wax up from the DSD images is also a pinpoint for those technicians.
Yeah.
Right?
What would they have to do now? Like take those images and reproduce it in like 3Shape or exocad?
So right now, yeah, they can use the tool they use to design like for their things. But actually, they can also use we do provide the tool for like crown design, right? So like generating posterior, anterior, multi-unit, single unit, both. So so eventually we can provide a seamless experience for them. So because we know it's all about workflow right now. Like it's not only the innovation. So it has to be with simplicity and user friendliness if we really want to build a great product. So we look at some companies like Apple for inspiration. So yeah, just think about iPhone. It's very powerful, but also very intuitive. So the moment when we pick it up, we know exactly how to use it. And that's the experience we want to build with Dentscape.
That's pretty cool. I like it. And, I can see as a technician having the dentist forward me that photo before ever designing the case or making the temps or making the digital wax up, how helpful that could actually be for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So the time when we want to really focus on dental technicians, so what we prioritize in our roadmap is crown, bridge, and dentures, because according to tons of user interviews to those labs, they say that like crown and bridge is the bread and butter in their like products, and also the denture is the most time consuming one, but like provide slim profit margins for them. So we really want to help those technicians to like elevate their efficiency. So we might focus on crowns, bridge, and dentures like this year's or next year's.
I would agree, especially dentures. There's not a lot of skill level with the dentures at all right now, I don't think, because it's so new.
Are you successfully doing AI dentures?
We have some progress, but we haven't released anything to the public yet. So
I don't think anybody has. That's some pretty involved stuff.
Right.
Yeah. I got super excited there for a second.
Yeah. We're excited about that. We're on the back end. We are working on that. I think that is the next big mountain to climb is AI produced dentures.
Yeah.
So like Elvis and Barb, to me, like not from the dentistry background, when I like jump in to work on this, I realized dentistry is really it's very diverse. There's so many small segment under the dentistry umbrella, right? So many, like we have crown, bridge, like, and you can even have different type of like very small segment. And yeah, I feel like it's very interesting, but also it makes it harder to build a product, because every type of like restoration design, you need to alter your algorithm based on that different workflow, like even different business model. And like, I mean, yeah, that's very interesting for us. But yeah, I'm glad that we can have a team to work on that, because we have Sylvie on the team. So when we have some dental question, I always go, actually the whole team always like go find Sylvie. So.
Gotta ask the dentist.
Yeah, go ask me. And other than the really innovative algorithms, what I really care about is the simplicity of the software, because like the CAD software we have right now mostly is really complicated. It take like courses or training sessions so that you can master that. But let's just step back and think that most of the tools we use outside of dentistry is often very don't need that kind of learning curve. It's very intuitive, and it is all because of the design of the products or the UI UX. So that is our philosophy in Dentscape. So we don't want to just bring the AI into the labs. What we really want to do is bring the AI that is easy to use for those technicians, whether you are a senior technicians or you are new to the CAD systems, that we really want to integrate into your workflow and to amplify your capacity.
So something I've always found interesting with AI is a good tooth design is not consistent with everybody, right? You can have 14 different people make a tooth and all 14 will look slightly different.
Exactly.
How do you dial in what the AI should produce?
Yeah, actually, that's something set us apart from those companies who do AI. So we have our idea was personalized AI.
Okay.
Just like you said, there are several ways to design a correct, I would say, correct design. But everyone have different philosophy when it comes to like aesthetics. Everyone's actually, they don't think beautiful things looks all the same. So we do have a customization onboarding process, and during that onboarding process we will provide some like choices, so they can choose the design they like. And through those questions, we learn how this user think about what's their philosophy. So that's the onboarding process. And along the way, when they use more with the AI, we actually provide, it's a web-based CAD system. So when they can do some adjustment on that.
Yeah.
So after they adjust the design, we actually learn from the data as well. So when they use more, we learn what's their ideal design looks like, and eventually this AI agent will design more like the technician.
So you're extrapolating from my brain what I'm thinking about aesthetics, and then it's tweaking it as it goes off of what I'm feeding it after the original conversation of my view of what I'm looking for. That's pretty amazing, you guys.
Yeah, that's actually just like think about Tesla, right? So when you drive a car, you actually teach the car how do
Yeah.
you drive. So when you use more, the car can like help you drive like just like you. And when the AI really comes to that point, you can focus on something you want to focus on, right? Like do more complicated cases.
So it's not only like setting it up the way that you guys set it up, it's setting it up the way the user is visualizing it to be set up. I don't think anybody else is doing that.
When you get the AI design, you provide a website that the user can tweak it in, and that's where it learns it? Or do we pull it into our 3Shapes and exocads?
You don't have to do anything on just the AI will learn it themselves.
So after the AI generated crown, we will provide our website already have some adjustment tools. So you can just add more or remove some of the meshes on our web-based tool so that you don't have to export that and then input again into your CAD software. You can do the adjustment on that. That will be easier for the users.
And that's how you learn, right? You take what adjustments we do on your website to find out what the next AI should be more like.
Yeah, so that's for this specific users. So we are not using a model that works for everyone. So everyone won't have exactly the same design after a while,
right?
Because that doesn't make sense. Like what Elvis say, like they don't have the unified answer to this. Yeah.
Technicians don't like the cookie cutter. They don't like cookie cutter tooth for every patient.
Yeah, no, definitely not. Ryan, how do you bring this to market?
Right. So right now we have more than a dozen labs using us and testing us. We're at the very beginning stages, so it's really
all
exciting.
Size labs?
Yeah, actually, we do have all size labs. We have there's kind of three main use cases out there. There's the smaller labs, the 1 to 10 employee size labs that are doing more artistic, more individual relationship with the dentist. And they can use us for customized AI generation, customized crown generation using our AI. And then you have the mid-size labs where they need to have higher volumes and balance their speed, and they still have their bread and butter workflows, crown, splint, and bridge. And it's really important to have speed, but they also need their techs to really focus on full arch restoration. So it's, I went into a lot of mid-size labs, and you look at the back wall with the cases, and most of those cases that are sitting there for a couple hours, guess what those are? It's typically crowns. Why? It's because they want their techs focused on full arches. They got to get out those full arches. And, they're doing 10, 15, 20 full arches a week, and that takes a lot of time. And sometimes the bread and butter, the crown doesn't get a lot of love.
Yeah.
So what we're able to do is kind of offload that bread and butter business, allow that, basically streamline that business. So you don't have to spend 5-10 minutes on a crown. Maybe you spend 2 minutes with us, get a crown out the door. It's done. You QA it as a human, you QA it, make sure it looks good, and then send it to your milling. Send it to milling or send it to print, whatever you plan to do. And then finally, with large labs, it's really all about scale and automation. In other words, they're doing things called blind milling, which is, no touch, no human touch at all.
Yeah.
And so that's where we're working on. We're not quite there, but we're really building up that workflow and making sure once we have the volumes, I think we'll be able to scale right into that very quickly. We're helping those labs right now at the testing phase to do blind milling because we're able to create that crown, create a workflow where it's drag and drop. And eventually we're going to have an inbox listener or work with partners to be able to funnel in cases from the management software all the way through to CAM. And CAD will just be it'll just be a click. It'll just be done.
But just like you said, we're fully loading it. We're letting you know how tight we want the contacts, how thick we want the margins. Do we want the crowns completely out of occlusion and everything you're loading into it? So we kind of already pre-designed what we're looking for. So I can see where, and then you have a seat and finisher giving you feedback. Okay, so no, that didn't work. We want tighter contacts or we want looser contacts. And then you revise it as you go. And then you finally get to the sweet spot and you're like, all right, we're ready. I could see that.
Yep. That's what we're working on. We have an onboarding process where you go through kind of a bunch of check marks and you figure out what kind of, spacing, gaps, all that. What are you interested in? Do you like rounded corners? Do you like straight corners, et cetera, square corners? Yeah. That's really where we are going through that onboarding process. And then over time, it gets better and better.
How does a lab get you that information? I mean, do we have to download all of our iOS scans, and how does that process work?
Well, it's a slow startup. I'll let Sylvie and Bill kind of go to the next stage, but really what it is you start using us and letting us know how our crowns are doing. Once you see the results, our crowns will get better and better for you. So it's a kind of like a hockey stick scale. So as you give us more feedback, our software gets better.
Yeah.
Right. So actually we don't need dongle or anything. We just go to our website and you will find a contact us like form. You can leave information there. So basically we are offering like 1 month unlimited usage right now. So if you really want to let AI to be in your workflow and try to see how it can do for you guys, so you can use it and we don't charge for the first month. That's the special offer we are providing right now.
Doesn't matter if we do 20 crowns or 200 crowns or 2,000 crowns.
Yeah, let's try our AI. Actually, our AI can do 110 minutes. So
wow.
Yeah, as long as you have the business, and you are the perfect customer we are looking for. So
yeah, because I could see the more that we use it, the more and better your system gets faster.
That's right.
Right. And the way we can, we can catch up with your needs faster, and that's what we want. So I feel like it's a win-win situation right now. So as a startup, we have to grow fast. And if you have the needs, please go find us. And we will also be in IDS and Chicago.
Nice. Again, I want to ask how a lab gets you that information. I mean, we have ISOs all over the place.
Oh, got it.
Yeah, how do we get it to?
Yeah, it's just the upload process. So all you do is upload the upper and upload the lower. And then what happens is our system figures out what the indication is going to be, and also figures out the margin detection, path of insertion. The occlusion is decided with our computer, and then from there it comes back with a result.
We have to individually, every case, kind of go to a website and upload it. There's not a one-click everything that we have in our system to send over.
Well, we actually have a new feature that we're releasing that is a drag and drop. So you can drag up to 100 files all at once, 100 folder files.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, drag and drop. And
if you download the cases that the dentist or the clinic sent to you, for example, iTero folders, and you just download the folder and drag the entire folder into our systems, and our AI can read the prescription inside. So it will extract the tooth numbers, extract the treatment type, and also the material inside, and let you check if it's correct or not. And then you can directly go to the next step.
Does it automatically create a question, like if it feels like it doesn't have what it needs to move on?
Yeah, exactly. We also know that is something that technicians have to make a call to the clinic as soon as possible. So we will filter out those with some missing informations or with short prescription notes so that the user will know which clinic to call as soon as possible.
Yeah.
A lot of thing we hear about with AI is margin marking. I've talked to a lot of labs that use AI, and they always say they have to mark their own margins. Are you asking for labs to still mark the margins?
Our AI will predict the margins, and it's like the proposals, so that it will actually we train our AI to recognize the margins by using the supervised learning I mentioned earlier.
Yep.
And then it will predict the margins, whether it's on the intraoral scans or it's on the section die models, and it will like the user to see if the margin is correct or not. So the user, even they see the crown generation results afterwards, it still can adjust the margins according to the AI predictions. So it will give the user, the technicians, the total control over the quality of the crown, especially the margins.
So if you want to fix it or add a little here or reduce a little there, that's an easy fix.
Exactly.
And Ryan, with the labs you're working with, are you seeing, that those margins are hit pretty good most of the time?
Yeah, I think we're still getting more data on that. So far, the margin hasn't been the issue. The main issue that we're seeing is whether or not the tech actually accepts the tooth. The margin so far, we haven't had any issues around that. So we're actually we're kind of moving past that issue. The next issue is the morphology. I think what's really interesting with AI is that you can't create a perfect tooth, right? You have to create...
Is there such a thing?
And also there is no such thing as a perfect tooth, right? But it has to... The imperfections actually create the character.
Yeah.
Our AI is learning that, and it's getting better and better. Having smooth teeth make it look too fake. So adding those textures, those ridges, those fossa, that is really what adds character and adds that artistry to where Dentscape is going. And the specialized agents that we're creating, Sylvie and Bill mentioned a mixture of experts before. What that means is that each agent, we've actually separated all of them, each agent focus on a certain item of the tooth creation. You also have, we can create agents for morphology, create agents for texture, create agents for margins, etc. So each one is focused on making sure that it's 100% accurate.
So what about function? Is there something in there that'll help you check excursions and function and that sort of thing?
What do you mean by that?
Like if you have an upper and lower and how the jaw actually works together, is there a way to manipulate it where you can check and make sure like it's not high if you're moving this way or that way with your jaw?
Oh, got it. Yeah. We do have the ability to check on occlusion.
Sweet.
We're working on a couple other items that maybe Sylvie can tell you a little bit more about our articulator.
Yeah, for the like fixed prosthesis, like crown or bridge right now, we mainly focus on the central occlusions so that AI will listen to your instructions before you send it to generation. So it will, your like the value you input for the occlusal distance, it will act as a prompt to the AI. So it will generate crowns according to the occlusal distance you type it in. Yeah, we also know that the virtual articulator, the lower jaws movement is also very important. So that's also in our roadmap so that you don't have to adjust a lot after you mill the crown, and the dentist will be happy.
Oh, yeah.
And the technician will be happy as well. Yeah.
Awesome. That's a great feature. And that's one that I think, if you look at something aesthetically, but then you also have to have the fit and the function part of it. So it's something you can't forget about.
You talk a lot about crowns. What else is AI designing? I mean, you mentioned dentures, crowns. What else?
Splints. We have splints completed.
Okay,
we have upper splint. We'll be adding more features on the splint later. And bridges will be coming pretty soon. I think February we'll have bridges available. So we're excited about that.
That's a whole new Ponic design.
Yeah, the whole Ponic
area to get into, I know.
Right. That's an important part of our next stage is be able to kind of accommodate that design.
Like one technician told us that the price about the bridge, like the three unit bridge, is equal to 3 crowns, but actually workload is more than 3 crowns. You have to take care about the connectors and also the Pontic. And so it's become more complicated. So I think the bridge is really where AI can fit in and help the technicians to enhance their workforce.
Yeah, if you can knock out bridges, that will save a lot of time.
Yeah.
So if you get the system, is it like all inclusive, or is there a part where you only do anteriors or you do posteriors and anteriors, and then there's this extra part that you need to get to do the splints and then furthermore the dentures? How does the system come?
It's pay as you go.
Yeah, it's all in one.
Yeah,
pay as you go, all in one platform.
It's all in one. It's pay as you go. You basically buy credits with us. So, and each credit is translated into a application. So 1 crown is 1 credit, and for splints it's 4 credits.
Well, that's an interesting concept. Okay. How'd you guys come up with that?
I think it's just a business model that it's one of the ways that a lot of tech companies are moving in is really around usage-based pricing. Mm-hmm. So you want to align your cost base with your clients and the way they pay, right? Yeah. If you misalign those things, you have either you're out of touch with the reality of the market, or you're negative. You're basically using more usage and then clients are getting too good of a deal.
Right.
So the way you match that is the major portion of how we charge, or basically a major portion of our cost, our variable cost, is actually AWS usage, right? Those NVIDIA chips are not cheap, and they use a lot of power. And AWS charges us every time you create a crown. So the way we decided...
Does it really do it like that? Interesting.
Yeah, they charge us like 0.0 whatever cents per usage of their computers. So it's time. It's time usage. And so the more we use, the more they charge us. So what we wanted to do is align that to our customers, so it's equal. So everybody is getting the best deal possible. And then we're just basically taking that gap on that. That's how a company works. From a business perspective, we are aligning that so we're more efficient and giving the best deal for the customer, and also allowing us to, basically build the best product. That we're also looking at efficiency, right? You want to look at code, how much code is being used, and how much that code is forcing a computer to use that energy. It all comes back to energy.
But it also allows smaller labs to still use the service and not be priced out.
Exactly. So you don't have to pay for a dongle. There's no upfront fee. There's no annual fee. It's basically you use 10 crowns, you pay for 10 crowns. You use 100 crowns, you pay for 100 crowns. That's it.
I love it. It's great.
And it all takes 10 minutes to get it back.
100 crowns, 10 minutes. That's pretty awesome.
100 crowns, 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
You mentioned Chicago. Do you just have a booth? Do you have anyone speaking? What's that looking like for you in Chicago?
Yeah, so we have some interesting things coming up. We are going to be at Chicago. We are also going to be at IDS. But as far as Chicago, looking here for the booth number, and I don't see it. Guys, do you have a booth number for Chicago?
For Chicago, they haven't announced yet. So that's why we don't have the booth number. I think they will notify us.
Plus, if you give a number, nobody knows where it is. It's so big.
So big. Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't given it to us. Maybe next week, I guess. So,
just find someone that is wearing the Dentscape T-shirt, and we're really happy to talk to you.
Exactly.
Are you going to have like a system set up so that we can sit down and check it out?
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
We will have a demo there, and you can experience the whole workflow. You're amazed by how simple it is, and really the UI we try to build like Apple style, very beautiful, intuitive as well.
How about this? If I bring a scan to Chicago, could you AI design it for me while I'm in Chicago and look at it?
Of course.
We would love that. Absolutely.
We would love that.
I think that would be cool.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, I'll bring a flash drive with a scan that I got, and we'll see how it is.
Yeah, actually, if anybody out there is wanting to take a look at our AI, if you have any single crown, multi-unit crowns, anteriors, posteriors, splints, bring your file to us. Bring your file, your STL file. We'll take that, and then we will upload it into our system and produce you a crown output STL file out of that. We can also accept other file types. Bill, Sylvie, what are those file types?
PLY and OBJ.
What about scans directly from a prime scan? Don't they do weird formats with Dentsupply?
Yeah, I think we are trying to fix that.
Yeah.
But for now, like PLY.
Sure.
The general file type.
Yeah.
But we're looking forward to having more kind of file type input so that we can fit more to the workflow. It's like workflow is really important in the dental lab because everybody is so busy and we cannot stop by any kind of troubles or errors in the workflow, right?
And you mentioned IDS. We're going to be there too for the first time.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. So any
right.
big announcements at IDS for you all?
I think what's exciting about IDS is that it's so gigantic. It's
that's what
It's the only thing people tell me about it.
I know. Yep.
We're excited. I think the big announcements will be very similar to the announcements at Chicago. We're releasing a bridge. We'll be releasing more features on splints. Our crown design will get even better. So what's really exciting is that I think we're going to have some special announcements coming up. So some of our partnerships will be releasing at IDS in Chicago. So stay tuned for those. There's going to be some very big names in your industry that you're going to recognize, that we're going to be partnered with us. People's names that some people may recognize, and also some companies that are kind of tried and true in your industry. So we're excited to release those names once Chicago and IDS comes around.
I know, isn't that tough? Yeah, you got to wait and you got to wait, and then finally it gets here and you get to tell everybody.
Yep. So we'll be at Hall 4.1 and booth B17 at IDS in 2025. And if
you're tired in IDS, just come to our booth and take a rest.
And have a cocktail, I've heard, anyways, at IDS.
Yeah. Also snacks.
Yeah.
Is this your first time doing a dental show for Dentscape?
So actually, last time we were at IDS, but with pre-teeth Prada. So first time for Dentscape, yes.
Yeah, this is our first time for
that was
Dentscape,
pretty fun.
With the 3D design.
Well, congratulations, you guys. I'm looking forward to it. It's awesome.
This all sounds really fascinating. I can't wait to see. The more you do, the better it gets. It's going to be insane once we get all this stuff worked out. I mean, it can only get better, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Exactly.
And I think it really comes back to one of our main points of Dentscape is that we are actually really focused on labs, and we want to solve labs problems. And also not just lab problems, but also tech problems, right? Techs it's kind of the perfect storm right now for especially dentures. And that's why one area that we wanted to focus on is we've heard this story over and over again. You have on one side of the story is a bunch of traditional denturists are retiring and their knowledge is going away. And then, any of those digital denture guys, those folks have, come up on board, but they're also starting to retire too.
Yep, exactly.
Then you have this increase in demand for digital in general. So there's more scanners. What is it? About a 70% penetration rate of scanners now in dentistry.
Easily.
So you have this workflow that is now faster and faster. And you have patients saying, hey, you know what? Such and such dentist is providing me a crown in 48 hours or, so many hours back. Why aren't you doing this? So you have more pressure on the dentist to speed up that process, saying, hey, where's my turnaround? Why is my turnaround? Why can't I get more and faster and cheaper? Then you have the Glidewells of the industry who's already moved to automation, right? They moved to automation. Actually, when I visited Glidewell in 2022 and I got to see the robots, it was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. They have these robots and each robot goes and grabs a spindle, that one little piece of zirconia crown or Brux crown? I forgot the name of their crown, but they
Bruxer,
yeah, and they go and mill it right there. It takes a couple minutes. It drops into a conveyor belt, goes to a QA process, and then they ship it out. It's done. It's like bam, bam, bam. So you have dentists moving to the big labs, and so the little labs, they're still focused on that kind of traditional process that still works well, but the middle labs are getting pushed out. And I think we can provide a lot of value to the middle labs, especially during this perfect storm. We can give them more tools, more arrows in their quiver to fight back and provide a bigger user base and provide better customer service to their dentists.
Love it.
Yeah, exactly. And I also want to share something that was really inspired by Jensen Huang, the CEO of NVIDIA. It's just he recently spoke about like AI agents. So he said that the future AI agent will join every industry and work with you. So it's like a AI coworkers. So like in the dentistry, the AI designer like Dentscape not only will learn your design preference, but it will work with you. So it can imagine that the AI will do the crown bridge denture designs, and the other human technicians can really being freeing up and they can focus on something really is advanced, like veneers, implants, and also all-on-4s, etc. So it's not about replacing any human technicians, but it's about like amplifying the capabilities. So that is our visions to help the lab to amplify the productivity.
I love it. Thank you so much, everybody. This is some fascinating stuff. Super excited to see what the future holds. Everyone, if you want to get into AI, check them out. I think it's worth it. Ryan, Bill, Sylvie.
And bring your fans to Chicago.
Yes.
That's great. They can totally see it work right there, real
on
real
your
world.
cases. Plus, you can tell your people at the lab you were working that weekend. So.
Yep, exactly. Well, thank you all very much. That was super
awesome. Thank you so much. And we'll see you in Chicago.
Excellent.
See you there.
Thank you.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
A big thanks to Ryan, Bill, and Dr. Lou for coming on our podcast and talking about Dentscape, which is a really cool, great company. I certainly have a little more understanding about this AI everybody's talking about now. And to think about all that goes into the creation of one design is crazy. Most of the time, it's done in literally seconds. You gotta love a company that is also co-founded by a dentist. So one would hope that quality is always at the top of priorities, and from the sounds of the doctor, it is. If you want to see it work in person, totally great idea you had, Elvis. The booth at Lab Day is N3 in the West Hall. So seriously, we challenge you, show up with a scan or two. Let them show you right then and there how their system works. That really was a great idea. If you're not going to Chicago, head over to Dentscape.ai and get a month for free. What do you have to lose? A month for free? I'd try it. Go for it.
Seriously.
You know it. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody.
All right, everybody. This is a week that most of us, and sadly not Barb, are heading off to Chicago. Safe travels. I will see everybody there. But, of course, we will also talk to you next week.
Yes, and have fun in the big bar. Have fun freezing your off. Have fun seeing everybody that you know and love. Have fun in the lectures. Enjoy Ivoclar's party and their celebration of Emacs. And just have a good time for me and think about me and send me love.
We'll pour one out for you, Barb.
All right. That too. I didn't even say that. Have a good time.
Bye.
See ya.
If you don't have pets to wake you up, that just means you're lucky. The views and opinions expressed on the Voices from the Bench podcast are those of the guest and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the host or Voices from the Bench, LLC.